In this video, I'll be walking through how to fill out Form W-9 if you are operating your business as a multi-member LLC. And that means you are an LLC organized in your state with 2 or more members. If you have an LLC registered in your state, but you are the only member, you'll want to check out my video on how to walk through the W-9 as a single member LLC. If you're an individual sole prop, you'll check out that video. If you are a C Corp or an S Corp, you'll check out that video. I've recorded videos on all of the entities on how to fill out Form W-9. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, here we're looking at the Form W-9 request for taxpayer identification number and certification. What this is you're providing someone who's hired you with your taxpayer identification number and certification that the information you provided is accurate. By using this form, that person that's hiring you or company that's hiring you can verify whether or not they need to provide a 1099 NEC or miscellaneous at the end of the year. So that's why this is very important that you fill this out. It's also verifying that you are legal to work in the US. So line 1, this is your name as shown on your income tax return. Depending on what type of multi-member LLC you are, will dictate which business tax return you're going to file. So this will be the name as shown on that business tax return. All right, so in this example, I'm Joe Smith. I run a plumbing operation. I have one other member of my LLC, my partner. And so we operate J&J Plumbing LLC. Okay, so line 2, and again, so line 1, that is our name as it's shown on the face of our business tax return. Okay, line 2, this is the business name or disregarded entity's name if it's different from above. So we've filed an assumed name with the state of Tennessee, and that is because sometimes we go by, just for branding and marketing, we go by J&J Plumbing and we drop the LLC component, even though our company name is technically J&J Plumbing LLC. All right. Box 3, check the appropriate box for federal tax classification of the person whose name is entered on line 1. All right, so on line 1, J&J Plumbing LLC, what is the structure of this business? We're not an individual sole prop or single member LLC. We're not a C Corp. We're not an S Corp. We're not a partnership. Well, it's 2 of us who are a partnership, but technically we're a limited liability company. So we're only going to check one box, and the most accurate box is limited liability company. Okay, and so for this box, we provide the tax classification of this company. So we are a limited liability company that's structured as a partnership, meaning that our LLC's tax return is the Form 1065. If you're organized if you've made the S election and you're filing as an S corporation, that would be the Form 1120S as a separate example. Okay, so we would put, in this example, we're going to put P in that box. Again, we're a multi-member limited liability company organized as a partnership. So that's why we would put P. If the other example I gave was you made the S election, you're an S corporation, you would put an S here instead of that P. All right, moving on. Box 5 and 6, this is our address to which we'd like to receive correspondence. In this case, we are subject to receive a 1099 NEC from the person that's hiring, so long as we've been paid more than $600 during that tax year. So this is going to be very important that we put the address from which we can receive mail, so that we can receive the 1099 NEC at the end of the year. And also, it might be good to go ahead and put the address here that we would like to receive our check or payment from this person hiring us. So I'll go ahead and put my address here. This is all made up, by the way, using a Nashville address since that's where I am. 123 Main Street, great. Okay, requester's name and address. This is an optional field. If you're hired by multiple people during the year, I suggest you leave this blank for efficiency's sake. I've rarely seen this compiled, and I'd be impressed if you completed this, but it's going to be ineffective for you. I suggest keeping just a default W-9 that stays the same unless any circumstance in your business changes. For example, you restructure, the entity structure changes, your mailing address changes, something like that. That would be a good reason to update your W-9 and save a new one. I would not want you to update and save a new W-9 each time you're hired by a different requester and you change it from, Tom's general contractor to Jane's general contractor each time. Or maybe you send Jane Tom's requester Form W-9. Don't do that. That gets a little sloppy really quickly, and it creates an inefficiency / bottleneck in your business. So leave the requester's name and address optional. Blank is my suggestion there. Let's continue to part 1, taxpayer identification number. Enter your TIN in the appropriate box. The TIN provided must match the name given on line 1 to avoid backup withholding. So you are a multi-member LLC operating as a partnership. We want to provide the taxpayer identification number associated with what's in line 1 or box 1, J&J Plumbing LLC. So we are going to include our EIN or employer identification number where it asks for that information. So not in this field for social security number, but in this field for employer identification number. So I will add my fictitious EIN. And then in part 2, I'm certifying under the penalties of perjury that the information that I've provided is accurate and the taxpayer identification number I provided is a legit taxpayer identification number. And we're also certifying that we are legally eligible to work in the United States. So the managing member or tax matters partner of your business can sign this form. I would assume that if you're watching this video and you made it this far, you are responsible for these compliance tasks in your business. So sign, date, and go ahead and scan this into your secure portal. Make it really easy for you to quickly send this to anyone who's hired you and request the Form W-9. That'll really help you out. And one other note on your taxpayer identification number. This is subject to identity theft. So you don't want to become a victim of identity theft for both your personal social security number and also your business's EIN. I strongly recommend that you do not email this information to anyone. Share it via your secure cloud portal. If anyone asks you for this information, give them access to your portal so that they can quickly and easily download this information. I see it nearly daily, if not daily, someone sending me a social security number, an EIN, a check with their checking account and routing number on it. Don't do this. Don't email this. Even if you have the most secure email protocol on your end, you don't know how that recipient is receiving that from you. They could be in a McDonald's hotspot, and that information can easily be taken from someone that may have malintent of your information. So that's enough on that. Privacy, identity theft, information security. It's something that I take with the greatest caution. It's very important that we secure this information. So use a secure cloud portal to share any information like this. And if you need to share a check or something like that, go ahead and just block out, redact that account number and routing number. If you need to provide a tax document quickly, redact that account number, social security number, EIN, or any other identification information. Take that off because you don't want to become a victim of identity theft. All right, so to recap, we filled out the Form W-9 as a multi-member LLC. J&J Plumbing LLC is our technical name as reported on our tax return. Our assumed name that we do business as is J&J Plumbing. We check the box for limited liability company with the tax classification P for this business. Our mailing address, 123 Main Street, Nashville. We left the requester's name blank. Part 1, we provided our EIN for the taxpayer identification number. In part 2, we certified under the penalties of perjury that the information we provided is accurate and we are legal to work in the United States, signed and dated. If you have any questions on how to fill out this form specific to your business, please work with your CPA or tax advisor on that. Don't just go with this fictitious example. If your fact pattern follows this, then you can rest assured that this is likely going to be the way you need to fill it out. But go and work with your CPA and tax advisor just to make sure that you fill this out accurately. And if you found this information useful, please like and subscribe to this channel because that will really help us out a lot. And there will be more content coming soon. Thanks a lot.